Hello, my name is Jordan and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching new players to the Cycle Frontier what to expect in their first couple of drops, what are some good beginner loadouts, and how to loot properly. Let's get into it. First things first, the video in the background is from one of my streams over on Twitch, so if you'd like to come ask me questions and watch some live games, then follow the link in the description to my Twitch channel. Now, on to the heart of the video. Let's talk about what to expect in your first couple drops. If you haven't ever played a game like this, or if you aren't familiar with the maps from the old cycle, then you're going to want to just get out there and explore. Feel free to do some no-gear runs and just familiarize yourself with Fortuna 3. It's really quite beautiful, so don't be afraid to stop and smell the roses. However, once you are a little familiar with the maps, I'd start doing your first real runs on the Bright Sands map, as it's a little bit easier with less wildlife to fight. However, do expect to die a lot at the beginning, as most people will have better equipment than you, so don't get too attached to things and just try and have fun getting better at looting and shooting. When you drop onto the planet, you get to choose what to bring with you, but remember, anything you bring, you might lose. The beginner loadout I suggest running is bringing a common backpack, a common tactical shield for a decreased stamina drain while running and jumping, and a common helmet. For your weapon, I suggest the K28 pistol as your primary weapon with between 125 to 250 light ammo. Make sure to bring 5 weak stims in case you take some damage from an angry strider. If you happen to find any keycards in jackets or on desks, bring those in your safe pockets as well. Now, this is the simplest, cheapest loadout for new players, but if you're feeling a little more confident, you can always switch out or add other items. For example, you could bring the Scarab, which is available from Osiris after a couple levels, which is a decent bit better than the K28, but far more expensive. Sometimes I'll even bring in a C32 bolt-action sniper rifle to get cheeky sniper kills on unsuspecting prey from afar for a little extra loot. One of the most important upgrades you can start to do to this loadout is bringing in an uncommon backpack, as it can carry 100 more weight than the common and only costs 4 salvaged insulation. Having a better backpack means you can carry more loot and make your runs even more profitable. You can never have enough space for loot. Speaking of loot, let's talk about how to loot properly. What I do before every drop is check what materials I need from my player quarters, upgrades, my quests, and anything I might want to craft, like a better backpack. Then I try to prioritize those items while down on the planet. On your first couple drops, I really suggest avoiding other prospectors and just getting out with as much loot as possible. In your first 10 drops, you'll want to focus on finding the materials required for the early player quarters upgrades that increase your stash and pocket size. These upgrades will help you get out with and store more loot, which will in turn help you complete quests for the factions and make it so that you have more room to stock up on weapons and attachments in case you die and lose your stuff a lot. The recipe for these things will probably change in the future, so just go and check what you need for these before you drop so that you know what to be looking for. Now, when you're down on Fortuna 3, you'll mostly find loot in and around buildings, but sometimes you'll find plants or rocks that you can harvest or mine. There are even barrels that are scattered around the map that can contain armor and other useful items. Another way of getting the loot you need can come from hunting creatures, but beware. If you start shooting striders or other creatures, people will hear you, so make sure to keep on moving so that they can't track you. One way to avoid unwanted attention is by using your melee on striders instead of shooting. If you hold down the knife button, it will charge your melee attack, and a well-timed hit will one-shot a strider. The regular weapons you buy from the store won't do much damage to the big blue lizards though, so avoid them until you find ammo converter attachments that will allow you to bypass their armor and make it possible to kill them. Alright, now to the most important part. What to do with your precious resources that you've risked your life to get. Many of the commonly found materials on the planet are used for upgrading your player quarters, or for low-level quests for the 3 factions. Other commonly found items may not be used for anything but just selling to the factions for lots of faction points and money. One example is the old medicine item. I highly suggest picking these up. Some rare items you may find actually won't be much use until later, and depending on how full your stash is, they might be better used by actually selling them to a faction for K-marks and then finding them again when you need them. You're going to want to focus on selling your extra loot to one faction in particular when you're starting off, so that you can level it up faster than the others. So, pick a faction that has a weapon you think is cool, and focus on that. I personally prefer Osiris. Well, that's about it. Those are the most useful things I can teach you new players to really get going in the Cycle Frontier. Get in, get out, and repeat. And really, don't get down on yourself if you're struggling to make it out every time. Everybody gets out sometimes, and the important thing is you keep on grinding and getting better each time. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I hope that the video really helped you get an idea of what you should be doing as a new player in the Cycle Frontier. I'd like to give a huge thank you to all the people that have recently joined our community here on YouTube, and I hope to continue making content that you guys really like. So let me know what you would like me to make a video about next. Take care.